All right, so in Unit 4C, we talked about investments and retirements. It was you putting money into account and, if you will, earning good interest. That would be money that would be paid to you for the money that you would put into the account. Today, we are going to be doing loan payments, credit cards, mortgages, if you will, bad interest. This is interest that you have to pay somebody to borrow money. So, a lot of the variables and everything else is going to stay the same as last time, trying to be consistent. The formulas are going to look very similar, just like last time. In 4C, you have to make sure that everything is put into the calculator correctly. It's extremely easy to make a mistake, to miss a parenthesis, to miss a negative, and if you do that, your numbers are going to be off. Okay, so make sure that you plug everything in and make sure that your answer makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably wrong. Okay, just kind of keep that in mind. Don't plug the numbers in and write down whatever else you put in. Make sure you put it in correctly and also make sure that the answer makes sense. All right, so when you borrow money, you have a principal. The principal is the amount that you borrow. The interest is what's charged on top of the loan. And when you pay a loan, for these ones, we're going to do monthly payments, and you pay the same amount each month. Then you gradually pay down the principal. But note, when you are paying off a loan, the interest gets paid off first, and then the amount towards whatever's left over goes towards the principal. So the principal slowly decreases each month. All right, so here is our formula. It is very similar to the one we had last time when we were making the investments. Okay. Just note brackets around the denominator. If you're going to plug everything into the calculator, you've got to put double brackets. And also with the exponent, that is a negative n times y. Okay. If you forget the negative, it will be wrong. Remember, these are very unforgiving if you plug something into the calculator incorrectly. All right, so PMT is our monthly payment. That is going to stay the same each month. The P is your principal. That's your amount that you borrowed. APR is our interest rate. N is the number of payments per year. For almost all of these, it's going to be 12, making monthly payments. And Y is your term in years. All right, so how does this work? So let us say that you graduated college with $27,500 in student loan debt. Your interest rate is 6%, and you're going to pay this off over 10 years. We are looking for the monthly payments, and we also kind of, just to show you how this works, how much did you end up paying over the lifetime of the loan, and how much interest did you pay? So plugging everything in, 27,500 would be our principal. 0.06 divided by 12 would be our interest rate divided by the number of payments. Now that is because, as much as they would love to charge you 6% a month, they're not going to. They're going to charge you 6% over the year. So if you take 0.06 and divide it by 12, it's 0.5%. So they're actually charging you 0.5% per month. Okay, that's where that comes from. And for the denominator, brackets, 1 minus parentheses, there's our 0.6 divided by 12, or 0.06 divided by 12 again. And then raised to the negative 12 times 10 for the 10 years on the loan. Now, once again, while you can plug everything in green into the calculator, and if you do it correctly, you will get the correct answer, I would recommend doing the numerator and then doing the denominator, and then use the answer function on your calculator to use the exact answer.
Once again, MyMathLab is
It's very particular, and if you round too early, you're going to run into a mistake, and they're going to mark it wrong. So I had somebody sent me a question a while ago, and they had rounded a little bit too early. I'm thinking they probably rounded 3, maybe 4 decimal places, and they were about $1.50 off, and the answer was 40,000 something. So 40,000, $1.50 off, not that big a difference, but it's enough that MyMathLab was marking them wrong. So make sure you go all the way out with decimal places. All right, so we plug the numerator in and we get 137.5. We plug the denominator into the calculator and we get 0.4504. Now I used the exact answers to get the purple one, and you would come out at $305.31 for your monthly payment.
So that would be your monthly payment.
For the total amount paid for the loan, we're going to take our $305.31. We're going to times it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. We are going to times it by 10 because we're going to do this over 10 years, and we end up with $36,637.20. That is how much you ended up paying back on the loan. So that would be the total amount paid back. And to find the interest, we borrowed $27,500, so anything above that would then be interest. So we're going to take $36,637.20, subtract $27,500, and you end up paying $9,137.20 in interest over the course of the loan. All right. Sometimes you have several choices, and the question always becomes, which is the best option? All right, so we have a $12,000 loan for a used car. The bank is giving us some options. We can get a 3-year loan at 4%, a 4-year loan at 5%, and a 5-year loan at 8%. Typically, the longer the loan is, the higher the interest rate is. Because once again, interest is a risk assessment, and the longer you have the loan, the more chance there is that something's going to go wrong.
All right, so
if we're doing a 3-year loan at 4%, we'd have 12,000 times 0.04 divided by 12, our interest divided by monthly payments. For a denominator, 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 raised to the negative 3 times 12. And if you're plugging this in the calculator, if you want to take 3 times 12 and make that a negative 36, I would highly recommend it. So our numerator is 40, our denominator is 0.1129, and we would come out with a payment of $354.29, which is a good sized payment. If we were to times that by 36, because we're going to make 36 payments, we would pay a total of $12,754.44. So we have paid $754.44 in interest over the 3 years of the loan. All right, for the middle one, it's a 4-year loan at 5%. So we put in 0.05 for our interest rate. We're going to put in 4 and 12 in the denominator for our payments. And we get 50 divided by 0.1809. And we would have payments of $274.35. So about $80 less per month in payments. However, we're making 48 payments. It's an extra year, and so it would cost us $13,264.80. So while we are saving $80 per month, we are going to spend about $500 more in interest. Okay, so we're going to pay $1,264.80 in interest. Okay, that's usually what happens. The lower the monthly payment is, the longer it takes on the loan, and the more interest you're going to pay in the long run. All right, for our last one, we have 12,000 times 0.08 divided by 12. We're going 8% interest over 5 years.
And if we put in
0.08 and 5 in our denominator,
we would get monthly payments
of $243.32, which is less, obviously, than the second payment. So it's a nicer, lower payment. However, when we times it by 60, we're going to
get
$1,599.20.
So while we are saving
$33 a month or so over the 4-year loan, we've now gone up to $14,000, almost $600. So that's almost $2,600 in interest that we would be paying.
So the monthly payments would
Be nicer. The long-term money, which can cost us more, almost $2,000 more than if
we went with a 3-year 4%. Okay, so if you can pay more, my recommendation is pay more. It'll be cheaper in the long run, and then
you'll be done. Because after 3 years, then the car's paid off, and you don't have to worry about paying $354.29 anymore. You're done. All right. Credit cards are a little bit different in that you typically do not have a time period that you have to pay it off. So if you have a car payment, they usually want 3, 4, 5 years. Some are doing 6 years now. Student loans, they'll have a set payment, usually 10, although some places are now offering 20 years. Houses are usually 15, 20, or 30 years. Okay, they're all set amounts. Credit card payments, they would love for you to pay the minimum payment
simply because
you just pay longer. Okay, as you saw before, the lower the payments, the longer you pay. So if you make a minimum payment on a credit card, you pay all of the interest and a very little amount on the principal, which means you pay a lot more in the long run. All right, so if we had $6,300 on a balance, that would be our principal, and we are paying 21% interest. I wish I could say that was high for a credit card, but that's pretty normal. If you decide you're going to pay it off for 4 years, how much would you have to pay per month, assuming you do not make any more payments?
So we have 6,300 times 0.21 divided by 12.
For the denominator, 1 minus 1 parentheses 0.21 divided by 12 to the negative 4 times 12. Hopefully this is coming a little bit easier.
We'll do a bunch of these.
Okay, the setup's always the same. So we get 110.25 for the numerator, 0.5651 for the denominator, and you would make a monthly payment of $195.08. If we times that by 48, because you would make 48 payments, you would have to pay back $9,363.84. Okay, that is just over $3,000 in interest on a $6,000 loan, $6,300 loan. Okay, that's almost 50% of interest. All right, now, if we look at the numerator, 6,300 is how much you owe. If you remember, the next one is your monthly percent, so they're not charging you 21% every month. It's 21% over the year divided by the 12. So that $110.25 is actually how much interest you would pay on the first month. Okay, so if you make a payment of $195.08, $110.25 goes to the interest, and only $84.83 would get to the loan. Okay, so when the next month, when you got your statement, you wouldn't have $6,104.92, you would actually have $6,200 and 85 and $6,215.12. Okay, because everything else goes to interest. They pay interest first and then the loan. That's why when you're dealing with credit cards, you always want to pay more than the minimum. All right, here's kind of an extreme example, but it illustrates the point very well. So we got Paul. He owes $29,500 off his credit card. They are charging him 24% monthly. A compounded month, 24% for the year, compounded monthly. So they're charging him 2% per month. All right, if they're going to let him pay it off over 8 years, what is the total amount that he's going to have to pay?
So 29,500
times 0.24 divided by 12, and then 1 minus 1 plus, or parentheses 1 plus 0.24 divided by 12, raised to the negative 8 times 12.
All right.
So the numerator is $590. That means his first month, however much he pays, $590 is going to interest. So we divide that by our 0.8506, which is in the denominator, and he's going to make monthly payments of $693.64 for 8 years.
Every month.
All right, so just kind of put this in perspective. We said $590 was the interest. Well, if we take our $693.64, which was his monthly payment, and subtract the interest, he may have paid
$693 to the account,
but only $103.84 went to principal. The rest of it went to interest, kind of wasted money, if you will. Now, the next month it would be a little bit less because his balance would be $293,096 something. Okay, so a little bit less than the following month will go to interest, a little bit more will go to principal, but it's going to take him a while to pay that down. So if you take that and times it by the 8 and the 12, so $693.64 times 8 times 12, he's going to end up paying $66,589.44 total.
and when we subtract
The original principal, he's going to end up paying $37,089.44 in interest
he's going to pay more in interest.
than he did off the loan. Simply because all he's doing is making barely minimum payments. All right, so new credit card. We got the picture of Vader on it. Credit's evil and dangerous. It's not necessarily evil and dangerous. It's easy to get out of hand. Be very, very careful of it, though. That would be my recommendation. All right, mortgages. Now, one of those things is because most of us don't have $150,000 or $200,000 cash to drop in on a house. So you're going to end up probably taking out a mortgage sometime in your life. Same thing with the car, possibly for school. So you are going to have to take out some kind of credit. You're actually going to have to borrow money at some point in your life. So not that necessarily that the credit is evil, but be very careful with it.
So when you're dealing with a mortgage,
The mortgage rates
or the interest rates,
for a mortgage are typically lower because if you don't make the payments, they can come in and take your house and sell your house to get their money back. So credit cards have a little bit tougher time. So that's why you'll see credit cards at 20, 25%, okay, charging a lot of interest. You can get a home for 3 or 4% interest now. If you got really good credit, you can probably go for less. I'm seeing 2.5 being advertised now. Okay. Same thing. That's kind of why the cars are a little bit lower. You saw a car loan we had earlier at 3 and 4%. For the previous example, And that's because, same thing, if you don't pay on the car, they can take the car back to get their money. So because there's less risk, there's going to be less interest rate for you, which means you are going to end up paying less per month and less overall. So a lot of places will require a down payment. Okay, that's money that you're going to have to pay up front in order to get the mortgage. So 20% used to be fairly common. That's kind of gone away. Sorry, Pinocchio, your nose is giving you away. Some places you can actually now do a down payment or get a house without a down payment, or they've actually decreased. The other thing that you are probably going to have to pay are closing costs. Okay. You need to pay the closing costs up front in order to get the loan. Typically, they fall into two parts. One is fees. That would be getting the house appraised to make sure that the value's there, checking your credit history, getting the house inspected, because you don't want to buy the house and then find out there's mold all through the floors, because you're responsible. You want to find that out beforehand and then either have the owners take care of it before you buy it, or have them drop the price with the agreement that you'll take care of it afterwards. Okay, that's not something you want to move into a house and find out that you got to take care of. So some of those fees are legitimate. You do want to make sure that the house is inspected, it's appraised, everything's good on it. Okay. Those are a couple $100s, maybe a few thousand. The other type of fee you'll see are points. And a point is 1% of the loan. Okay, so this is an origination fee that's charged, discount points. So sometimes you can pay points up front and they will lower your rate for you. So they may say, we'll give you 3.5% now, but if you pay a 2-point fee, so 2% of your loan, we'll drop it down to 3.25 or 3%. Okay, so sometimes they'll use points to try to decrease the loan that you have, or the interest rate on the loan that you have. All right, simplest one
is just a fixed rate
mortgage. This is what most people have. The interest rate does not change over the life of the loan. Okay, once again, 15 or 30 years are usually the most common. A 15-year loan will have a lower interest rate than a 30-year loan, because once again, there's less likely that something's going to happen in 15 than it will happen in 30. Less risk, lower interest rate. That will mean a higher payment, so you got to be careful.
All right.
So if we look at this, we're going to borrow $150,000 to buy a new home, because once again, this is pretty common. Most of us don't have $150,000 laying around to pay cash. The bank says you can charge or get a 30-year loan at 4% or a 15-year loan at 3.5%. So we're going to look at the differences. So for a 4% 30-year loan, we put in $150,000. 0.04 divided by 12, 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12 raised to the negative 12 times 30.
So there's our $500.
So our first month we would pay $500 in interest. We're going to divide that by 0.6982, and we would make monthly payments of $716.14. Now the reason it's called a fixed rate is your first monthly payment is going to be that. It's going to be $716.12.
20 years later,
your payment's going to be $716.12, and your final payment in year 30 was going to be $716.12.
It doesn't change. Rent, if you're
Renting, as
most of you probably are right now.
Rent changes. It usually goes up every year.
Okay, so that's one of the nice things about a loan.
The problem is if you need to move, you got to sell the house really before you can move. If you're renting, it's a lot easier to pick up and leave.
So that's why some people rent if they're planning on
not being in an area for a long time.
All right.
So if we take our $716.12 and we times it by 360,
We are going to pay
$257,803.20 for the loan for the house over the course of the loan. All right, if we go with a 3.5% interest
so 150,000,
times 0.035 divided by 12,
and then for the denominator 1 plus
parentheses
1 minus, parentheses 1 plus
0.035 divided by 12 times negative 12 times 15.
Notice we're only paying
$437.50 in interest for the first month.
And if we divide that by
0.4080, we would get monthly payments of $1,072.32
so $300 more
a month. However, when we take our payment and times it by 180, because we're only paying for 15 years,
we would only pay
$193,017.60.
So $60,000
savings and
interest, and we would have the house paid
off in 15 years versus 30. Okay? If you can afford $1,072 per month. Okay? Once again, that's not going to change. Some people can't afford that. They can say, look, I can pay $760 a month, and then you deal with that for 30 years. Okay, so you
kind of go with whatever
you can, but make sure you know the options. You make sure you know what's going to happen. All right, so Great Bank is going to offer a $100,000 30-year loan, 4% fixed rate. They're going to charge $500 in closing costs and 1 point. Big Bank is going to offer $3 or 3.75% on a 30-year loan, but they're going to charge us $1,000 closing costs plus 2 points. So what are our two options? So for Great Bank, 100,000 times 0.04 divided by 12. Hopefully by now we're getting very comfortable plugging these into the formulas. Brackets 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.04 divided by 12. Close parentheses.
Raised to the negative 360th. And we would get a monthly payment of $477.42 per month.
For 30 years. Closing costs would be $500 plus 1% of 100,000. Remember, 1 point is 1%. So you would need to bring $1,500 to closing, and if we take our $477.42 and we times it by 360, you would pay a total of $171,871.20 for your loan. So $71,000 or so in interest. All right, looking at Big Bank, plugging everything in, 0.0375
divided by 12, and then 12 times 30, you would get $463.12 per month. So about $14 less
per month. For closing costs, you would have to bring $1,000 plus 2% of 100,000. That would be $2,000. So you would need to bring
$3,000 to
closing. And if we take our $463.12, you would end up paying $166,723.20 total for the loan. So about $500 less, $5,000 less if you went with Big Bank over Great Bank. Okay? But you would have to bring $1,500 more to closing in order to get that. So once again, it's all about what you can afford, and it's all about what works best for you. Okay. So yes, you can mortgage your future for a very attractive low interest rate. Once again, be careful with what you do because this is a fairly big decision. All right, back in the 1970s, 1980s, interest rates were 17, 18%, 20% for a house. Okay, that was what was common. That's why a lot of people didn't actually buy houses back in the 70s and 80s. They couldn't afford 20% interest. So this guy's had a 17% mortgage. He thought about refinancing to 3.5. He was waiting for it to go lower. Yeah, big mistake.
He would probably save himself
$1,000 a month if he was to refinance off of that. All right, to kind of show what the interest rates do.
So if you have
A $200,000 home loan, 30-year mortgage, and you put down $40,000. Okay, so you've really borrowing. So you really got a $240,000 house. Okay, $40,000 down, $200 for home loan. If you were to get 3.5% interest, you would pay $718.47 per month. If you're at 4.5% interest, you would pay $810.70 a month. And that extra $100 per month is just interest. That's not going to principal. Okay, so that would be $12,000 per year, approximately, that you are paying. Take 12,000 times it by the 30,000 per year. And that is a lot of money that you are paying to the bank for having a 3.5 versus a 4.5% interest. Okay, so if you can get a lower interest rate, a lot of people will refinance after a little while, and they can drop that 4.5 interest down to 3.5 and save themselves $100 a month. All right, so this one shows the interest versus the principal. So at the beginning, most of what you're paying goes to interest. Okay, so in this case, we had $537 payments. $384 went to interest, only $153 went to the principal. Okay, and so over time, it slowly starts paying off the principal, which means slowly the interest keeps paying off, which means slowly more and more gets paid to principal, until towards the end, after 30 years, the majority of what you're paying is actually going to principal. Okay. So if you can pay extra on a loan, most places don't have a fee for an extra payment or an extra amount. Whatever extra you pay will automatically go to the principal and start decreasing the principal faster, which then decreases the interest, which means you pay off a loan in less time. Also means you save a lot of money. So if you have a 6% loan, the guy's arguing that if you have a $100,000 mortgage, they're going to get $6,000 in interest.
He says that seems a little pricey for doing a little counting. He doesn't understand how it works,
because they're really getting
$115,380
or $115,838 in interest on a $100,000 loan. That's at 6%. So hopefully you can get an interest closer to 4 or 5 or 3 or 4. Okay. Here's another one, shows the same thing. There's previous. This was done by year.
So the white part is the amount
that was paid to principal. The darker part is the amount paid per year to interest.
Okay.
Once again, as slowly over time, you slowly pay down the principal. Okay, more and more of it goes to principal, less and less of it goes to interest. All right, for a comparison,
if you wanted to
have, if you came to the bank and said, I can afford $1,000 a month for my mortgage. Okay. In 1985, the average interest rate was 12.91%. You could afford a $90,000 house. Okay. By 2000, it had dropped to 8.5. That allowed you to buy a $132,000 house and have the same payments. 2015, it had dropped to 3.8% was your average, and a $1,000 payment you could afford a $212,000 house. Okay, that's the same time, it's the same monthly payment. The only difference is the interest. So the difference between 12.9% interest and a 3.8% interest is a $140,000 house, really. $140,000 extra on your house. $90,000 versus $112,000. Okay, so the interest rates do matter. All right. We're not going to do these because these get really crazy. But just kind of so you know, there is an adjustable rate mortgage. And that one, the rates will change depending on what happens to the interest rates. Okay? So you get an adjustable rate mortgage. If the interest rates decrease, like they have for the last couple times the Fed has met, then your interest rate goes down, which means your monthly payments go down. If the interest rates go up, then your interest rates go up, and that means that you end up paying more. Okay? So it's kind of a risk because you don't know exactly how much it's going to be per month. Most people don't like it because they would rather take the set amount each month, but just note that it is there if you would like it. Like I say, very few people actually do it anymore. Almost everybody's on a fixed rate because it's just easier to know that if my payment's $713 today, it's going to be $713 in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and however long it takes to pay off the mortgage. But there are always options. All right, and that is everything you need to know for this unit on interest rates.